Hey folks, welcome back to our tips videos. In this one here, I'll talk about the services section of the index page. And in particular, we have these two little cell phones here that sort of slide in from left to right, right? Of course, they have a little screenshot of your template here. So you can replace these with your own images. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Obviously, we've left a space here. This particular section we've designed so there's a space in the middle for the pictures, but you could have like two people or, well, two anything that you sort of want to sort of slide in and come together like this here. Let's go into Dreamweaver, and here's our index page. We'll open that up. I'm going to scroll down about halfway or so until we find the services section here. It's in here somewhere, I know it is. There's our social, so we're up higher on the page. Let me get there. There it is right there. There's our services section right here. Now, what we have going on here is a couple of classes that are being applied. Let me just scroll down here. And they're in what we call the phone animation. Of course, you can call it whatever you want, but it's basically in the center section of that page. We have a column that has the class of phone animation with a cell phone left and a cell phone right. We have the animation effects here, the duration, and the delay. Now, what if you want to change the picture? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to find out which page-specific style sheet is attached to this particular page. This is our index.html. We'll take a quick look there. Then we'll open that page up and we'll take a look for the class of cell phone left and cell phone right. So actually, before I do that, if you don't want the animations or the phone animation, it's a piece of cake to get rid of. Just select this entire class right here and delete it. Then what I suggest you do is also delete the column small 4. So this class right here, let me just click somewhere in the word column, for example. I'll go down to my quick tag selector bar, select the entire div column small 4, and I'll just press delete on the keyboard. Now I have another one here. I'm going to change this to a 6, and I would go up here and find the previous column and change that to a 6. So the two columns now add up to 12. It'll take up the full width of the page, splitting the two columns equally 50-50. Right? Now that's if I wanted to get rid of the cell phone animation. If I don't and I really like it and want to use it, chances are I'm going to want to change those pictures to something else. So let me show you where that style is loaded in from. So like I said earlier, we need to determine which page-specific style sheet is being used. So we'll scroll up to the top and we'll look down to our current page CSS right here, and we'll look for anything with the name of index, which is this one right here. So site, styles, pages, index, it could be index 1, 2, 3. If we look over to our site, styles, pages folder, we see we have index 1, 2, or 3. Now, although we have index 1, 2, 3, 4 down here, the number of the style sheet may not always match exactly the name of the page it's being used in, just because, to add confusion. But sometimes we change the components around and whatnot from different package types. So just so you know, the best thing you can do is open up your page. In this case, I have the index page open. Take a look at the current page CSS and just open up the style sheet that's linked to it. Simple as that. Ignore the names and the numbering system. Just open up whatever index page it says right here. So in this case, it does match up and it says index.css. So we'll open that up and we'll scroll on down or look through the page until we find cell phone left and cell phone right. Okay. Here we have the background images being loaded in. So this tells us that the themed images folder, sections, cell phone BG left, cell phone BG right. So that's where the images are being loaded in from. So if we need to replace them, that's where we find them. So we go to themed images and sections, and there's the cell phone BG left and cell phone BG right. So of course, this is where if you want to replace those two images, and you will, this is where they're located. Let's find out how big they are. I'm just going to create a blank page like so, and flip it into the design mode because I'm just going to be lazy, drag and drop like so, and the same thing for this image here, and so, and like that. There we go. Now there's the original two images, and you can see that there's a lot of white space. See, when I click, there's a lot of white space around it. So you may want to do the same sort of a thing. To get the effect of one overlapping the other, we had to give a little bit of white space to the image. As a matter of fact, what we did is we pretty much made the images in this example, oops, where we are here, right? These images are probably about the same size. So 304 width, 304 width, height, 500 by 500. So both images are the same size, right, and same height. But to get the overlap look or effect, what we ended up doing was, keep going back to fireworks there when I should be looking here. What we ended up doing is having the image, the focal point of the image being the cell phone, with some extra space on either side so that when they overlapped, it would look like this. So this is, I'll just open up both images in fireworks so I can show you as an example. I'll open this one up, and then I'll open up this one here. So you Photoshop people, if I take this image here and overlay it on top of this image over here, you see that? The actual original image is the same, they're both the same size, but as I overlay them, right, one goes over top of the other, it gives that effect of one being stacked on top of the other. When in fact, it's just one image with a bunch of space on one side, and the other image, same thing, a bunch of space on the other side, so when they do come together and go over top of each other, it gives that stacking effect. So I would suggest when you go to resize your pic, you use this as a guideline, or when you go to create your own, you can use this as a guideline to sort of, get your own look to it if you want to. And if you want the original source to that, just let us know. We have the original source for this if you want to create your own picture and pop it inside the cell phone, right? You'll just need Adobe Fireworks or Photoshop or something like that, some sort of a graphical editor to make that happen.